Bless you, Olumide Michael Adeni. Bless you. How are you, Olu? God bless you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. And you're welcome to the Wise Builders. You're welcome, everyone. I can see few people online. Good evening. We'll just wait for a few more people to come online before we start tonight. Olumide, good evening. Bless you. Standing on the right side, looking up above, I can tell that I know that it is. Yes, I know it is. The witness in my heart that it is. Standing on the right side, looking up above, I can tell that I know that I know. The witness in my heart that it is. Oh, standing on the right side, looking up above, I can tell that I know that it is. Yes, I know it is. There's no witness in my heart that it is. Oh, standing on the right side, looking up above, I can tell that I know that it is. Yes, I know it is. There's the witness in my heart that it is. Standing. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. I tell that I know. You're welcome to the Wise Builders. If you're new, you're welcome. My name is Olakwa Agoradeni. And if you're returning, my mommies and daddies, brothers and sisters, I welcome you all. Baba, 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 Baba. Baba, oh Baba, Baba, oh Baba, oh Baba, oh Baba. Come on, let's dance unto the Lord for His goodness and His mercy. Wow. I love dancing and I love praise. Let's just wait about a few more seconds, there about a minute. Then we start tonight. Good evening. You're welcome on board Wise Builders tonight. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, friends, family. I can see few people online. Good evening, men and women of God, brothers and sisters. God bless you. Good evening. Sometimes when you listen to the music, all this praise, You don't want to stop. Baba, oh, Baba, oh, Baba, oh, Baba. Baba, oh, Baba, Baba, oh, Baba, oh. Ah, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, friends and family. Good evening, brothers and sisters. You're welcome tonight, Wednesday, to the Wise Builders. My name is Solapo Agoro Adeniyi. If you're, hi, mom, hi, everyone, hello. If tonight is your first time on this platform, you're welcome. It's a platform that we discuss about building our life, society, family, building everything wisely. So we treat life scenarios, we treat questions as it comes, and sometimes I bring topic based on whatever I've counseled people or I experience or whatever the Holy Spirit drops into my heart to discuss. Tonight we are talking on topic unforgiveness and revenge. Unforgiveness and revenge. This cuts across each and every one of us, work, colleague, family. But I'm going to pin it because basically on this platform I speak mostly on relationship. When I talk about relationship doesn't necessarily have to be you and your wife or you and your husband or you and your, relationship. Children, we've seen children storming out of home, not coming back home just because they can't come to terms with what is going on. So that's unforgiveness. It boils down to unforgiveness. Somebody has offended you, something has happened in the course of your life, and because of that you thought, okay, now I've had enough, I'm not coming back. So, unforgiveness and revenge, this is what we are treating tonight. The way we roll or we run this platform, we do it together, is drop your comments. Whatever you feel at any time you want to contribute, please drop few comments. Just drop anything that God puts in your heart or from experience that you witness, how things can degenerate or how it can improve. Just drop it and I'll pause, I'll read it out, and our viewers, especially people concerned, because one of the things that gives me concern is this present generation. God will have mercy on us. I was saying to somebody that everything literally that has been handed over to us, this generation has messed it up completely. I don't know if you agree with me, understand with me. Everything that's been handed over to us in this generation has been messed up. So there's the need for us to build wisely. The Bible says a wise man builds his own house, but the foolish one plucks it down with his own hand. So it's good as the Proverbs. Please let us build wisely. So we are talking tonight on unforgiveness and revenge. And like I said earlier on, this is very key. Some of us, we might think of it in terms of relationship. I know people, in fact, I experienced somebody, a so-called minister of God recently, and in my heart, I laughed at, where is Christ? Where is forgiveness? People just step on your toes, and because of that, you're like, I've had enough. I'm not speaking to this person again. So unforgiveness and revenge is so much in today's relationship, in our everyday life. So that's why I want to talk about it tonight. Please drop your comment. I cite you, sir, Reverend Soji John. The Lord bless you, man of God, bless you. So you see, unforgiveness is the opposite of forgiveness. We all know what forgiveness is, but like I said, unforgiveness sounds so easy. You just think, people of sometimes until you are in a situation before you know how deep and painful it is to forgive. Sometimes it can be very, very painful, especially once it comes from loved ones. Look at marriages today, a year, 6 months. People are out of marriage, 2 years, 5 years. You see some people. I recently counseled a couple, I'll say, and they've been married for well over 17 years, going to 18 years. And then the woman is asking for divorce. In all fairness, I shook the man up a few times because the person is a believer and a Christian, and I kept tapping him to say, are you sure that you haven't done anything than all these baseless accusations? All those accusations that cannot hold a bottle of water. That's what this woman, that was the grounds of divorce. I read a petition over a page or two, and I could not hold anything. Stupid things, beg your pardon, stupid things, I mean, no grounds, but things that happened when they were going to marry. Things that happened in the first year, second year of their marriage. So this now crossed, or I don't know how she pretended, how she, no, the man said he knew that few things kept popping up, and they were dealing with it. But you find out that unforgiveness, when people don't forgive, the root is very, very bad, and the repercussion is very, very bad as well. So tonight, please drop your comments as we discuss what unforgiveness can do, or what unforgiveness is all about. You see, forgiveness on its own, let me try and talk about forgiveness, then we'll flip over, I will talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness is a spiritual act. You see, it sounds easy. That's why people cannot live with each other, friends, people step on your toes, or colleagues, or marriage, or children. You see, children say, because my dad has done this, I can't. I'm not going to have anything to do with my father. I'm not going to have anything to do with my mother. Some of these are very painful. I used to know a woman that her daughter did some of it. She went abroad, and her daughter sold some of the family goods, and she kind of squandered things. She made a mess of things before the mother came back home, and the mother was so cross when she came home. She could not reconcile in her heart. People begged her, did everything to forgive that child. She was just cursing that child, until when the child went back, the child died. By the time she traveled back, before she came back, came to meet the corpse of her, she was now crying. You see what unforgiveness can do. Sometimes, if we are not careful, Mommy Remi Agrofagwamila, bless you, ma. If we are not careful, little things can become, devil can manipulate it so much and so big, to the extent that we do not even know how things will degenerate, and it will come into a situation whereby the marriage can no longer continue. Please, I'm going to pause you 1 second. Unfortunately, when the studio was set, my laptop was not connected. So please, 1 second, bear with me. I'll just grab my charger and I'll charge it. Sometimes when you rely on people to do things for you, they mess it up. Oh my days, I can't find my charger, which is strange. Oh my days. So unforgiveness, as the case may be, I don't know. I'm going to have to pause this, please. I'm really sorry tonight. Benjamin. So I'm really, really sorry. This is, I let my boy to do it because I rushed back from work. Ben. So we're talking about, sorry about that tonight. More blessings. Bless you, ma. So unforgiveness, we're talking about forgiveness and unforgiveness. You see, forgiveness is a spiritual act, and it can be, it's something that you rely on God to accomplish. Sometimes it's not as easy as it sounds. It's something hard, and it needs our ability, relies on our ability to be able to forgive, especially in some situation. So it's not easy. Like, some of us will think and will say, oh, why could you not forgive? Why could she not forgive? Beg your pardon, where's my charger? So, because I don't want this to be interrupted. It looks like I've left my charger at work tonight, and unfortunately I was not prompted about this. This is absolutely wrong. I'm really, really sorry. So talking about forgiveness, right? It's something that is deep, like I said, and it's something that eats us so bad, because somebody has done something to us that we cannot comprehend. Somebody has done something for us, and we have, like, this is out of place, this is not acceptable, but we find out that it definitely does not work because it's my laptop charger. Beg your pardon. So it's it's a decision. I'm really, really sorry tonight. Unfortunately, I'm disturbed with this because I told them to set up this before I came, and I wasn't told the charger is not there. So forgiveness doesn't mean, you're forgetting the harm the person has done. It's just that you've taken a decision to let go of that. And that is the problem with forgiveness and unforgiveness. Please, if this is interrupted, which is I'm extremely sorry, please, you might have to link with me, same Dolakwa Goradeni on Instagram. I'm really, really sorry. I will post the YouTube one because I'm being recorded on YouTube as well on the other laptop. I'll post the YouTube straight onto Facebook immediately I'm done. So unforgiveness is something that eats us so bad that it's difficult for us to comprehend. Now we just think, I've had enough with this guy. Like this family that I was saying to you, for almost 20 years, 17 years plus, they've been married, and then the woman is asking for divorce and everything. And usually when I hear cases of divorce, I'm like, is there adultery? Is there adultery? Is there financial abuse or domestic abuse? None of this. I read it myself. All the petition, it was just rubbish. In so years, I was talking to you, were not listening. I told you to further your education. Stupid things. I mean, stupid things. So, couple that have got 3 children. So, it's necessary for us, if we want a lasting life and a lasting relationship, to learn to forgive. It's as simple as when we start holding grudges, when we start keeping malice. Even sometimes we don't keep malice, but we are like an high for an high is done this. Oh, you hear people say, I can never forgive. By the way, can I just say, forgiveness takes time. You can forgive somebody, but to forget it might take time. So I can quickly forgive somebody. The rate at which I can forgive somebody might be different to yours. It takes time, but the most important thing is, we need to forgive. Unforgiveness is to disobey God, and it depreciates the greatness of God's gift, which is love in us. If you really love, the Bible says, love covereth multitude of sin. So if people do anything that is wrong, or it's not, let me tell you something, it's not possible that your spouse or your children will not get on your nerves. People will do things that you don't like. People will step on your toes. But the most important thing is you have to learn, beloved. You have to just learn to forgive. So how do I reach a stage of forgiveness? That's what we have to think about. Forgiveness, like I said, is a personal progress of commitment to say that I'm going to just forgive this person. I'm going to list some things for us to consider. If you don't recognize the value of forgiveness, then you will not improve in life, because you become enemy. I know people that are even servants of God, that they step on people's toes and they refuse to forgive. It's your mental health, it's your state of mind. I have people, and I'll check on people like that. If I hear something and I'm like, are you for real? Sometimes what you preach, if people offend you, and then you see people vibrating, and I can never forget that I'm going to deal with this person. It's not right. So you have to identify what needs healing and needs to be forgiven for what. Okay, for example, if your spouse cheats on you, that's the height of it, and you hear some people say, I can never. It's a state of mind. I'm not saying take rubbish, but sometimes life, not only marriage, needs to be fought for. You need to, not that you're cheap, but if you value something, you have to go all out to try and preserve that thing. So let's watch it, how we deal with issues. Let's have a broad mind. Let's have open mind that once something happens, the best way is talk about it. I'm somebody that I don't like something being pushed under the carpet. If there's an issue, I want to talk about it. It's good for your health. You can join support group, you can join counseling group, you can have somebody that you relate to, not necessarily a professional counselor, to say, please, I'm going through some issues, how do I deal with this? I'll tell you why it is so easy to hold a grudge. Naturally, when somebody hurts you, particularly somebody you love, it causes you anger, it causes sadness, it causes confusion. And that's the problem. Let's assume you're married or you got a child, or and they've done something. It gets you really, really angry because why? You trusted those people so much that you feel bad. Yeah, it's natural feeling that every one of us experience. But what I want you to understand is you don't have to be wrapped up in the wrong feelings. You see, it's a choice. It's a choice. And I always say to people that, okay, if you allow negative feelings to crowd your positive feelings, you will now find yourself swallowed up in a kind of sense of bad injustice, and you just want to do things because you want to vent your anger. You want to be seen to. Most of all will say, I'm not a fool. Yes, you are not a fool. Sometimes when they deliberately take advantage of you or us, they're taking you to be a fool, but that doesn't mean you have to now react in to be a fool. There's a scripture that says anger rests in the bosom of a fool. Because you don't want to be a fool, you are angry unnecessarily, then you become a fool. So sometimes we have to understand the effects of holding grudge. Like I said, it brings bitterness and anger into any relationship. When you start holding grudge, oh, my husband came late at work, I'll deal with it. You shouldn't go to that. Try and understand that why did he come late. Like I said, apologies tonight. Please, when the studio was set up, my boy didn't realize it. I think I left my charger at work. I'm really, really sorry. I can't swear because my other laptop is working, but it's working on YouTube. So for the purpose of those that want to share it, I'll still finish if it goes down. Join me on Instagram, please. Still Dolakwa Gradeni Pastor, or on YouTube, The Wise Builder. But I'll share the link after the program, because this is I'm sure it's not going to last to the end of the programs, which is, I'm really, really sorry for that. It brings anger and bitterness into every relationship. You become so wrapped up in it that you become depressed and anxious yourself. So it's good for us to free our mind. It's good for us to free our mind. You see, when I was thinking about this unforgiveness, about 4 or 5 cases that I dealt with in the last 1 year came to my mind, and how people, best of pals, best of spouses, how they are now at each other's throats. And so one is going through divorce now, and the woman has gone ballistic. She doesn't even care. Even if it will take their life, and she's swearing that she's going to destroy the man. And it comes to my mind that this is a man that you loved, that you started a relationship together. So why would you be so vengeful that unforgiveness will now lead you to the extent that you want to destroy the man? Life does not have meaning for people. You see people that they say, good evening, my leader, Kasim Shitu, the Lord bless you, sir. Good evening, sir. So some people are so engrossed in that pain and anger that they say they don't care. I don't even care even if I go down with it. Why would you go down because you just want to revenge? Some people, have you seen a situation whereby maybe a spouse, your wife or husband cheats on you, and then you see people carrying gun, and they will kill them and they will surrender themselves to police? It's the act of unforgiveness. That's why forgiveness, it can be spiritual. Sometimes it needs us to. I've been through that. I used to pray to God to give me a new heart. You need to really pray and deal with yourself. I'm going to read from Romans 12:19. It says, beloved, never avenge yourself. Leave the wrath to God, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. Though we don't even pray that God will visit iniquities. God is a God of mercy. You should even pray for your spouse, especially if you're father of your child or the mother of your child. When you are praying that they should die, you make that child be fatherless or motherless. So, but I know some people, they do things, so it's just like somebody that rapes, or a pedophile that rapes your daughter, or these are deep areas of forgiveness that you are even like, in my life, I will never admit to this. But I say to you, Proverbs 24:17 say, do not say, I will do to him as he has done to me. I will repay the man back for what he has done. No, it's not good. It's not good to revenge. But what we can do is pray to God. Like I said, that has really gone off. I'm really, really sorry tonight. I'll continue on Instagram. So what we have to do is to pray to God that the Lord will give us mercy. He will help us so that we will not take revenge. We will not take revenge. Now I will go to revenge. Revenge has some ingredients that is you see, in everybody, that it's something that's premeditated. Revenge is something that you have planned. Revenge is not something that you just wake up tomorrow and you. People that are revenges, they take their time, and it's a state of mind. You made up your mind that I will show him Pepe, I will show her Pepe. I will not take this. I will make sure that no, no, I'm not being cheated. So it's a state of mind. It's a feeling that we have to fight, and it's people that we hang around with. It's associates. They are friends that just think, oh, don't worry, don't mind that. Don't, no, no, you can't. How would you allow them to do this and it will go scot free? That's why sometimes there are some things that we need to really, really hold within ourselves, and then we don't allow people to mess us up. So ingredients of there's some things that come on in a revengeful relationship or a revenge. One is bitterness. The first thing before you would think of revenge is that person must be bitter. You must be bitter. They have done something. Just like, for example, we talked about a pedophile, somebody that's been raped, or somebody like the child that's been raped or has been abused, or or domestic violence. I would not say for the sake of anything, stay in any abusive relationship, or leave, make peace with that person. When you see tomorrow, you should be able to shake hands. I say to people, because you're not, remember, these are friends before. You see, I don't have any grudge with anybody that I will see you tomorrow. I will not sit down with you and shake hands and sit with you. It won't get to that. I won't put myself in that position. If you feel that you can no longer contain, but listen, that is love. If you think you can no longer contain somebody in a relationship, remember, love covers every multitude of sin. So in a situation whereby you just feel, no, man, this man is getting on my nerves, I cannot carry on with him, don't allow bitterness. Bitterness is you're now calculative, you're hating him. And you're like, oh my, I can't stand this man. I can't stand this babe. I can't stand this. Because somebody was talking to me about colleague at work that if I think the colleague is gay, and he was saying if he and the guy meets themselves in a corridor and this is a supposed Christian, he's going to lynch him. And I'm like, man, you're supposed to be a minister of God. And you want to, because he hates him so much, because of you can't fight the fight of God. Leave God to judge. God himself is love. He created this person that you want to lynch, by tomorrow be preaching the gospel. So sometimes I'm just talking about bitterness. Bitterness eats dips. It's like it eats into our bones because it's premeditated. It's not something that happens within a day. It's something that's calculated and it keeps going on. The second one is wrath. Wrath is, WRAT. Everything is, it makes you get, it's further down angry because it becomes chaotic and you want to fight and you want to be destructive. You can't take it and you are irritated, you're angry. So that is wrath. Then anger. So these things are, no matter what, when you're talking about revenge, these things are peculiar to revenge. Anger, you are angry. If you're at peace and you're watching TV, the person comes, your blood will shoot up, your eyes will, you are reacting because you are angry. So all these things are things that are linked to unforgiveness because somebody has done something. Before all these feelings come up or pop up, somebody has done something to you that you just thought, listen, I'm not going to take this from this guy. I'm not going to take this from this babe. So we are overreactive. And because of this, then anger strikes in. Clamor is you start going from places, you're agitated, you're like irritated, you're clamoring, you're stamping the floor. You can't stand him today. Every one of us has this degree when somebody's done something for us or done something bad that we agitate, we do things, but it must not lead to unforgiveness. So deal with it. Let's assume somebody stole your food or done something, or somebody even abused you. You talk about, you're agitated, you are angry. Try and see God, and we're going to get to that now, how you can expunge that feeling from your mind. But if it's not possible, then I suppose the next thing is leave. Instead of holding root of unforgiveness, because once you are unforgiving, your own personal prayers will not be answered. Your emotions are damaged. Your life is damaged because you are calculative all your life. Slander, then you start going, if he says one. So I'm talking about bitterness, wrath, anger, clamor, slander. You go about, bad mouthing that person. If he's done one, you say two because you have not forgiven him. He has hurt us, she has hurt us, she has done bad things to us. You see, like I said to you, I've known couple that because of this, they stayed for a very long time. And then after 10, 15, 20 years, they are seeking for divorce because the root of bitterness. So you can say that there's been so unforgiveness. The person might have done something, maybe once they just got married or anything, but they are holding grudge. Some of us women, we do this so much. There's a story that I'm dealing with. By the grace of God, next week I'm going to bring the scenario out. The person that knew the person that contacted me, but I want to seek consent from um the victim herself, and then seek her permission, because she said she wanted me to bring it live, so that she wants to hear what people are saying. you know it's unforgiveness is involved in that matter as well, and is lingered on. So malice, all these things has to be the ingredient in any, before revenge can be carried out. The first ingredient before anything is unforgiveness, is the roots of it. You don't forgive that person, there must have been an act of injustice, or something that violates your right, or that violates your peace, or violates your space, and you said to yourself, so has done this. He or she has breached his trust, or breached my trust. Because of that, I'm not going on as a friend. I'm not, this is it. So that is it. But I'm not saying we can't take decision. You see, two do not work together except they agree. If you have a friend and she's taking advantage of you, yeah, you don't necessarily, you forgive and move on. But unforgiveness is, you're not releasing that act that that person has done, and you're resorting back to it, you're reverting back to it anytime. Then once that is happening in our lives, let us admit this and unforgiveness. We are not forgiving that person. Try as much as possible to deal. You see, when we deal with these things, we are dealing with ourselves, we are helping ourselves. That's one thing we don't know. I, I was speaking with a gentleman recently, and he's been divorced for a while. And I realized anytime he mentioned the particular ex spouse, he feels agitated. And I say, young man, calm down. It looks like you've not healed properly. Sometimes when we've not healed, we don't forgive. Some of us says, oh, I've forgiven him, I've forgiven her, but I'm not letting go. Then there's still roots of unforgiveness. If revenge sometimes is not only bad things. Revenge is an eye for an eye. He has done this, I'll make sure I'll deal with him. Okay, you've had a girlfriend, I'm going to have my own girlfriend. You just can't deal with that. So you have not forgiven him. There's no way you forgive somebody and you will revenge. There's no way somebody will do something back to you and you are forgiving that person, and you'll be bidding your time to forgive. Okay, he spent my money, I'm waiting until his payday, I'll do my own back. An eye for an eye. We do it with friends, we do it in relationship. So all these things are there, and it's crowned with malice. So, and like I'll say, I'll read from the scriptures again, Ephesians 4:31-32. It says, let all bitterness, these ingredients are taken from Ephesians 4:31-32. When I was studying bitterness, all these ingredients are in revenge. Let all bitterness, 1, wrath, 2, anger, 3, clamor, 4, slander, 5, be put away with you, along with all malice, 6. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another as God in Christ forgave you. You see, we need to think about these things. Christ is love. I'm sorry that I can't really project people's comment because my Facebook just gone down. It's my fault. It's nobody's fault. It's not internet's fault. I forgot my charger, and if I don't, I would have used the other laptop. But I'm live. I'm live. There's something I can do. I can't swap it. So that's the price for my not checking things. I just rushed out of office around 6 o'clock. So as I was saying, so let all this, it says we should forgive ourselves and be kind to one another. I'll add something to it, that be careful of the seed you're sowing. You see, we have to be very careful. We have to be careful. Root of unforgiveness has a lot of damage it does. It's calculative, it's destructive, it deprives us our peace. And then look at the consequence it has on this greater generation. Okay, look at the woman I was saying, she's waited 18 years because of stupid decision that, okay, when we got married, you took a decision, let's assume you took a decision to remortgage our house, and I was not in support of it at that time, and the business you did not go well. Bam. Something that was not addressed then, Obviously, they would have addressed in a bit, and she pretended as if she's forgiven, but she held that grudge. She held it for 18 years, and she's seeking divorce now. In all fairness with you, I sat down and I read the petition. I'm like, no, let me my eyes open. What is this petition all about? It's rubbish, all true rubbish. But to her, it's not rubbish. To her, there are things that hurts her, that pains her, which I know it does to most people that seek divorce or revenge. But I'm trying to say to us that I'm not saying stay in an abusive relationship or tolerate rubbish, but I'm trying to say forgive, move on. Don't bid your time to pay back or to fight back. Don't start praying for his downfall because you want to rejoice. Don't start praying that as he's walking, his leg will break. Because when you have malice, when you are malicious, you are planning evil. You're waiting until the day that you hear that he's dead, and you say, God, it's my prayer that's been answered. It's because he has done something bad to me. All these things are not really relevant, and we have to be careful of the future generation. Children are seeing us, adults are seeing us, friends are seeing us. We are laying unnecessary precedent. Like this woman, I was just like, you're not even thinking about our children, our grown-up children that are looking and seeing the way you are being vindictive against their father. Some women can be so vindictive, some men can be so vindictive, but it's all bound to revenge. An eye for an eye. You have done this thing, you will know that you cannot check. Let people cheat you, let people chance you. You have a God. The Bible says, I'm the God of war. God will fight your battle. He said, be still and know that I'm God. I will fight the battle. God will fight the battle for you. Let's stop fighting our own battle ourselves. Most of us have tried to find battle, and it's ended up in maybe criminal acts and things, and revenge is not good for anything. Revenge is something that we should not engage with as children of God. It could be, I remember there was a time I was so bitter about my relationship, about some things happening in my relationship. I used to cry. I used to wait on the Lord. I used to cry. I'll kneel down, I'll pray, and I'll be like, God, create in me a new heart. Because, like I said, it's to forgive is spiritual. You can't just forgive like that. That's why you see people in the secular world, they can't hold things. They can't. You see, the emotions overrule them, because it takes the Spirit of God for you to say, okay, you've done this, I commit you in the hand of God, I leave you to go. Or because of our children, because of the love I have for you, because of Christ, you have to walk yourself. It's painful. It's not easy. I used to cry. I'll be angry at myself. I'll be angry at a lot of things. But gradually, I started praying to God, give me a new heart, renew a new heart in me. And then everything subsided. So what I'm trying to say, it's something that is doable. You see, if some revenge can be so subtle that we don't even know we are vengeful. We don't even know that we are bidding our time. We don't even know that we've hated our spouses because he's done something, or he cheated, or he's done something bad to us in the past, or his decision making, and we're like, okay, when is my turn? Some of us women, sometimes we wait for the turn to lash back. Even for friends, I'm like, I'm going to show. Let's be realistic. Some of us, we've had that we say, I'm going to show her. Hey, you have to know who you are messing about with. That is revenge. That is bitterness. It's from bitterness, and it's from all this wrath, anger, clamor, slander. You start thinking about it, a whole me. Pastor Dolly is taking advantage of me. This guy has to know that he's playing with fire. I have to show him the stuff I'm made up of. That's revenge. Those language, I know nobody can mess about with me. If they mess about with you, what are you going to do? God will fight your battle. But once we believe so much in ourselves, we are like, I'm going to deal with him. So this is unforgiveness. It starts from that. It starts from being able to come to terms with things. Sometimes it stands from the place of pride. If you want to know, when we self-exalt ourselves, we become a demigod and think, oh my God, how can he take it? How can he do this? Who've done this to? I have to show you. And you see nowadays, that's why people send. Recently we heard about a politician somewhere in Africa that was shot dead in the face and things like that. Somebody has crossed his path that will not forgive him. You see, hired killer say me, and so you don't know who you have done this to. I'm going to show you unforgiveness. Then those things can stay. They can stage 5 years before they stage. They can actually they can plan. I mean, for 5 years before they stage their revenge. You see people laughing with you. They are laughing with you, but they are bidding their time to deal with you. That is what unforgiveness does. Because I don't have any problem if you're in a marriage a year, 2, 3, 4, and you say, okay, we're not compatible, and you leave yourself or he's done something. Like I said, I'm not here to tell you you have to, what you're going through in your marriage. I'm not here to tell you that you have to, but divorce is not right. If you look at it's too, one of the things I say to people nowadays is, especially women, I think I have to still do something on this. We women were kind of funny. Your man has cheated on you once, and you caught him, and you're like, no way, I'm not going to take this man again. No, he's done this, he's done that, I'm going to leave him. You see, recently I came to that understanding, and I started laughing with him. I think I was driving to work, and that, sometimes when you're meditating by yourself, and I'm like, hang on, this woman, I know is good. It's not good for you to take rubbish, but okay, give your marriage a break. Just give yourself time. Work on yourself. Work on it. Fight for it a bit. But you're like, oh, my days, he's cheated. He slept with his secretary. No, my days, I'm not going to take this again. Then you divorce him. And 5 years down the line, you are marrying a divorcee. I don't see, it's one of those injustices that I've seen in. I would rather that person hates a man so much that you not remarry, or maybe wait for a widow or widower rather, and marry a widower, or you become celibate. But after 5 years, you are tired and you realize that, okay, outside there is not that pleasant as well. Most of them are liars. Then you see one charming man and he's a divorcee. And the reason why his wife divorced him is the same reason why you divorced your husband. But he's going to tell you it was a mistake. I was immature that time. I just did not understand things. And then, you see, sometimes it's unforgiveness that leads us to do this. Then we find ourselves in vicious circle. So I'm like, why would people not just wait? And I don't have any problem if the marriage is not working, and I don't believe marriage should be endured. It has to be enjoyed. But think very, very well that the person, okay, if I leave Joe Block today and I go out because I cannot forgive him. Yeah, there are extreme. I've done video about marriages made in hell. There's some marriages that you can't stand. You can't enjoy your marriage for the rest of your life. But give room. Let's not have this preconception that, okay, he cheats once, I'm out of the marriage. Don't let anybody fool you. There's forgiveness. There's something called forgiveness in the Bible. If adultery, you can still tolerate him. If you can forgive him, learn to forgive him. Learn to forgive him. And one of the things I found out is we women, especially if it's our own son's wife, maybe we're older and our own son now commit adultery, we'll not be covering it. We'll not be begging the wife to be patient. But we don't give our men enough chance. I know some men are kind of unreasonable and stuff like that. Those are the extreme cases. Because I did a video sometimes last year about marriages made in hell, that unrepentant adultery and things like that. You can leave them. But what I'm trying to say is, let us learn to forgive. Little things, attitude. Let's learn to forgive. Just try and find peace with yourself. Walk yourself up to a stage that you start loving. At a stage, I start loving my spouse, and I look at him. I'm like, I'm not ashamed you. There's something wrong with you, because I start seeing beyond him, and I try to rationalize, kind of empathize, and put myself in a situation that what is the driving force behind this madness? That is a big thing. I don't mean it's mad, as in this wrong attitude. So don't be wrapped up in that wrong attitude and being vindictive and saying, oh, I'm gonna do this, but try as much as possible to see eye from them. Try and study them and say, okay, let's work this out. I know it's painful. You can like I said, you can stamp your feet on the floor. You can shout at him between both of you when the kids are not there. Try to straighten things out. Then after that, start speaking to God. That's where the Spirit of God comes in, because, beg your pardon, my darling, it is necessary. It's not something that you can do and just wake up and say, I'm forgiving you, especially when adultery is concerned. Sometimes when abusive relationship is not extreme abusive relationship that is abusing you, maybe emotional, or psychological. So some men don't know how to talk to a woman. There was a woman that I used to work with some years ago, and the husband would say to her that her vagina smells. He just go and sit down, oh, you smelly vagina. The woman will cry on my shoulder. Those are no nice comments. I won't take it myself, and I will not say any woman should take it. That's abusive, psychological and verbal abuse. It humanizes you, brings you down. No. But in as much as that, try and see if you can give it a stretch. Give it a stretch. Try and see if you can work on him. Maybe it's a state of mind. But as I was saying before, I'll go back to that point. Be careful of the seed you're sowing. It's quite unfortunate that my Facebook has gone down tonight, but I'll try and share this. Like I said, be careful of the seeds that you are sowing. Everything that we do, what goes around comes around. Everything that we do, we will repeat. We will repeat. Oh, we will repeat. We should not live life carelessly. We should not just, like I said, pride is what makes you not to forgive people. Just say, me, who are you? You're 6 foot below. Who are you? Me, he can do this. Hey, no. If God can forgive you, most of us, I say to people like me, I'm not even supposed to stand on the altar by the things that we have done in the past, but God is so merciful and gracious. And because sometimes I knew that I'm amazed at your love and your call for my life. And I want you to understand that most of us, we are not even qualified. But God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. So please, learn to forgive. Don't think so highly of yourself that you look down on your spouse and say, no, he has done this. I can never live with him again. Try and work things out. Oh, and you see, children now, see, just see some, and I say to people, once you do that, what goes around comes around. You just see children as well. They just marry. They just say, oh, because daddy is they don't come back home as well. So what you don't forgive, children, learn to forgive your parents. Learn to forgive them. There's this adage in my country that says, a child that says his father is not rich, you are in the same stead already. You start working towards that. Let's see how you're going to do your own. Sometimes the people that we think are able to cope, they can't because it's not their fault. So let's give people a stretch. Let's not be engrossed with unforgiveness and think so high of ourselves. Is, oh my days, he's done this. I will show him that he's talking to the Akbar Goradeni. Does he know who I am? I'll use everything. I'm a lawyer, I'm a pastor, I'm a DDD, I'm a doctor, we see everything. It's pride. It's pride. So let's stop being prideful. Let's think of the consequence, our action. That's what people have done, that there's higher killers. People cannot forgive themselves. People are going. You see people saying they're pouring acid on girlfriends. It's because they can't forgive. Maybe the girl has just slept with somebody and saying, it's where you are grabbed up. So one of the things I discussed earlier in the program is, please let us cluster our mind. Once issues happen, let us deal with it. If you take you a week with your spouse, stay and let it go, because when you sweep things under the carpet, it leads to unforgiveness, and then we start planning revenge. I'm going to show this man. I'll wait for my children to be out of uni, and I'll just give him divorce. I'll wait. I don't know if some of you saw this video that went viral. I think last week or 2 weeks, about a woman. I think it happened in America. I think she's the Caribbean or something. I can't remember. And that the husband went to Nigeria, and the husband, she tapped the husband's phone, and the husband went to meet another woman. Before he came back, she's already, can you imagine? She's already put the house on sale. She's sold the money. When I looked at it, I said, I'm not blaming her. The way we react to things differs, but let's not always think of the extreme. Let's give chance. Let's even put ourselves, empathize, put ourselves in his position. If it's my son, if it is me, are you going to tell the wife to go? When it's our turn, we start pleading with the wife. Please now, his devil has used him. But it is us, because we are not controlling our passion and our emotions. So let us learn, please, like that. For Ephesians 4:31 talks about these 6 ingredients: bitterness, wrath, anger, clamor, slander, and malice. Please let it be removed from your relationship. Let it be removed from your life. Don't be bitter about anything. Bitterness will come, but the root of bitterness, remove it. Deal with that thing, however long it takes you and your guy or your wife to resolve it. Resolve it immediately, and then move on. So I've touched on that consequence of what it does to future generation. What goes around comes around. And like I always say to you, what's the essence of you divorcing? when you still go and marry another divorcee. Your husband or your wife has done something. I cannot take this. No, 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 no. And then 5 years in the line, you are lonely and you look for another divorcee. Go and search very well. The reason why you divorce your husband is the reason why the wife divorced him. So you are back in square one. And why sometimes it's because of we are rational. So let's stop being irrational. Let's calm down. When something happens, it's painful, it's hurtful. Let's discuss it. Let's start praying about it. Let's pray for that person and let's start speaking. I did it for years and I'll crawl under the chair and I'll be praying in church that God give me a new heart. God just deal with me. And after a while, I found out that instead of sorry about that. I found that sorry, that was my phone going on. I found out that instead of avenging myself, I realized God started giving me a peace that I was dealing with. So reconciliation, as I'm going to round up, is the most important thing, because if I talk about all this and I don't talk about the way out, then we have an issue. Instead of revenge, Pastor Tayo, bless you at Sunday First TV. God bless you, man of God. I can see Pastor Tayo Adepimpe 134. I don't know which of the Adepimpe is that, but all my Adepimpe, God bless you. Bless you, man of God. Thank you for keeping on. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Pastor Tayo. The Lord bless you, sir. Thank you, sir. My love to my sister. It's been a long time. So reconciliation, it's not something that is undoable. It is doable. But one thing with reconciliation is you cannot reconcile with an aggrieved party. It takes two to reconcile. Now, let me explain to you. Now, let's assume myself and yourself were involved in this issue and I've asked for forgiveness. I've cleared my mind. If Mr. B or she, the other party, has not forgiven me, I cannot reconcile. And that's one of the problems that happens to couples, that you've spoken about it. You just say, honey, baby, I'm sorry. And the person behaves that, okay, all right. And you think you've reconciled with them, but they still hold grudge. That's why I've taught about grudge. So it's not a private thing that's, it's only you. It has to involve two people. Sometimes you might even have to call your pastor, mediator, counselor, like this couple that I'm saying they are going through mediation, and in the last 3 years we've been begging the woman. She's just doing like, I'm not going to take, I'm going to do this. Okay. Adebimpe Akintola, bless you, ma. Good evening, ma. God bless you. I'm really sorry for everyone. My Facebook tonight, I left work around 6 and I just got home. I was just chatting with my boys to set up the studio. They didn't check that the charger was not there. I think I left the charger at work. I'm really sorry, sir. But fortunately, the other laptop is on and is recording YouTube live. So that's uninterrupted. So immediately I finish, I'm going to share it on Facebook in case you want to share it for anyone. So thank you very much. So when we are working on reconciliation, we need to do interior work within ourselves, but we have to cooperate with the other person. But to reconcile, what I'm trying to say is you can't reconcile when you have not totally forgiven. And that's what we have nowadays. People patch things up. Okay, it's all right. After the pastor has spoken to us, it's a lie. After all, what will I do? No. So here is the human, to forgive divine is a lie. Say it as much as before the man of God to say, listen, this man has messed about. I want to give him punishment. I want to let us scatter it and let us, but don't pretend. I'm saying before the pastor to say, oh yeah, what's there? Even if God forgives us, say what you want to see, But most important thing, try and reconcile with that person, whatever it takes, however long it takes. It is good to reconcile. Reconciliation is a two-way process. You cannot reconcile with somebody that's not reconciling with you. I say to people, you don't necessarily need to reconcile with everybody. If you are not in a relationship, the most important reconciliation is if you're in a relationship or a friendship. But for example, if somebody offends you at work, or is not a close pal and everything, or even if it's a close pal, and then their ways does not seem right to you, forgive them for what they have done, make peace, move on. But when you see yourselves on the way tomorrow, hi buddy, hi, how are you? Everybody goes on their way. You don't have to. But with relationship with children, I have children. I got a case about a child that's at the parents' throat. It's lack of forgiveness. They just cannot, and it's just because the parent. That's why maybe I'm going to do a video on this. People that wants to remarry, I'm studying a couple of things on that, and I'm doing some research on it because I have 2 3 cases. We need to take our children on board. I had a situation about a woman that remarried, and the boy just stabbed the new guy at home because the guy could not reconcile the man taking the place of his father. So you see, this issue of revenge, unforgiveness has a root that we have to deal with. We have to try and reconcile. You may have a burning decision, sensation that, okay, I don't want to talk to him again, or I want to make up with him. But try and study, try and go step by step. Reconciliation needs sometimes a third party that would genuinely probe you, especially in difficult situations. Let's assume there's a case of adultery or there's a case of violence in the house. You've forgiven him, you've dealt with it, but you don't want it to repeat itself again. So you might say, hang on, I'm ready to take you, but I want mommy and daddy to be present. I remember the story of a lady that some years ago, and the guy used to abuse her, and the guy would raise up his hand and say, me, I didn't touch her. And the babe said, okay, one day I'm going to show you. One day, they were together, and the guy started abusing her, and she took a knife and she stabbed the guy on, nose deep star, and scratched him, and blood came out. The guy said, you cut me. I said, this is a mark for you that you will not. So when everybody saw the plaster, is what happened. He was lying. The wife said, I'm the one. Don't let him lie. I'm the one that caught him. He's been lying to you that he's not been beating me. He's been slapping me and punching me on the face. This is a mark to hurt in that day. Shame has not. I'm not saying go to that mad and extreme way, but I'm just saying that sometimes when you have to reconcile, you have to work on yourself to totally believe that, okay, work on yourself through God and everything, to say, okay, I've released forgiveness. I love J Block. I love her because I want him back, but I want this issue, because it takes two. If you reconcile with him and he's still not changed, then things will continue and you end up to where we're coming from. So in such a situation, you need somebody, especially if a lot of things is going on. Sometimes we'll be dealing with teenagers at work. I got a call about a teenage that is just being destructive and on the parents and on the mother and the new husband's neck. It could be pressure at work, it could be health problems and everything. Sometimes things get so overwhelming. But what you need to do is sit down, tell him you've released forgiveness, tell her you've released forgiveness. Then after the whole thing, just call maybe a counselor or a mediator or your pastor to say, Pastor, this happened. I've forgiven him. I'm not going to take revenge, but I want you to be a witness. Sometimes he hates the reconciliation process, and the man will take responsibility, or the woman will take responsibility. And if it's something you both of you can do without calling a third party, fair enough. But what I'm trying to say is just ensure, unlike this case that I'm not directly involved, but I know the case, about this marriage of 18 years, and the woman had been bidding her time on just because the man expended the money, or he didn't squander the money. They took the money to go to some other country for investment. The investment didn't work, and she bidded 18 years, no, 16 years to say, I will deal with you. I will show you. That's power. So I pray with us that we should think about all these things, unforgiveness, how it leads. It could be little things. It could be little things, or it could be little that spent your money or took your credit card. In the early stages of marriage, there's a lot of exuberances from men, from women, the teething period. So let's not take this thing. Let's give our marriage at least 5 7 years. The first 7 years, okay. A good example, if you have a child in the first 7 years, they mess about. They don't know their right from their wrong. So let's give our spouses a break. That period. But if you know that it's a kind of time that all the things that they are exhibiting or they're doing are things that is far beyond ordinary, and they are either taking a piece, taking a mic or whatever they call it, then what you can do is, okay, if you've had enough, you've had enough. But I say, before you throw in the towel like this, let's work on this relationship. So let's work on ourselves so that our unforgiveness does not lead to revenge. Funke has left me. I would destroy her life. And the annoying thing nowadays, I see divorce, and the way divorce are going Nowadays, I cannot believe it. It's so destructive. I said to a man recently and to his wife when I kind of mediated in it, I said, does it have to get to this? Because of your children, please, please, because of your children, be reasonable. But no, the woman was asking for his head. And I'm like, was there law? You see, it's a shame that you guys are not, you're not commenting. Please, does it have to get to this? That somebody that you once loved, listen, if you want to leave a man, leave a man. I'll just leave you, go. If you want to leave a woman, leave a woman. But unforgiveness and revenge is what you see. She held a grudge and she's going to be like, you messed up with me, I'm messing up with your life. The woman is like, she wants to destroy it. And the man is somebody that has a name. He has a name. He's somebody important in the community. The woman is doing everything to destroy the man. So I said, love that's turned into destruction, was there love in the first instance? Could it be infatuation? Because if you love somebody, it's painful when they hurt you. But because of the love I have for you, I'll just let you go. I'll let you go. Because if you think you've cheated me, God is there to avenge for me. But when it comes to stage of I will deal with phone B. In their life, their family, in fact, they will their father will suffer this. Why? Their mother, we don't need that. So if you are in that, please watch it. These things are present in your life: bitterness, wrath, anger, clamor, slander, malice. Ephesians 4:31-32. I'm going to read it again. It says, beloved, let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander. Let's be careful how we slander people, saying bad things about them, disrepute them. Let's be careful. Be put away from you along with malice. Let's not be malicious. Malice can be bad. Malice leads to revenge, because when you are malicious, when you you can take 10 years of dealing with somebody. You are calculative, you are intentional, you are planning, and you're working towards something. Some people will even kill their spouse. Some people will do things. Please, I beg us in the name of God, as a round off, please. The Bible finishes in verse 32. It says, be kind to one another. Let's be tender hearted. Let's be forgiving one another. You see these links, interlinks. The forgiveness, when you forgive, it takes time, beloved of God. Don't worry. It takes two to tango. One can get to the place of prayer, which is what we need to release forgiveness. Then the other person, they get broken. Let's assume you commit adultery and then I'm able to forgive you. Do you understand? And deeply that forgiving you, not that I'm like, I'm just looking at you. Yoruba will say, I'm looking at where suffering will enter your body. You don't need to say that. But if you just say, you can cry and say, I totally forgive you. Not somebody taking you for granted. If they're taking you for granted and you can't take it again, you can let them go. But be in a situation whereby you don't lose your peace. Be free. Don't cage yourself. Don't be why would you take revenge and God will punish you? And your later years that you're supposed to be enjoying, then you'll be suffering. Or rather, you do something silly and then the act of law will kick in. We don't need all this. So I plead with us in the name of God, by the mercy of God, let us fly from unforgiveness. Unforgiveness kills. It destroys, like cancer. It eats you. It makes you lack your peace. It cages you. It makes you depressed. It makes you look older than your age. It makes you miserable. It even makes you vulnerable because of the fact that you have not forgiven him or her. You will run into somebody else's hand. That's there's a child that is not forgiving his parents now and he's saying stupid things now. She started chatting, a 15-year-old. She started chatting people online because she wants to escape from. It makes you vulnerable because you think you are caged. You think, oh, I can no longer live with her. No, you start bidding how you escape or how you destroy him or how you set yourself free. Thereby you case your peace, you case yourself, and then you don't find freedom in yourself. So I plead with us as I'm rounding up tonight. If anybody has aggrieved you, please release forgiveness. Like I said, listen to the beginning of this video. It's not easy. Cry to the Lord and he will do it. If God can forgive us, then you can forgive anybody that's offended you. If it's not possible, he said, if practicable, live at peace with all men. If it's not possible, leave them to go in peace. Stay with your peace, but release forgiveness as they go. Genuine forgiveness, and have your peace. The God of peace will abide with us until next week, Wednesday, that I'm going to come back. I thank you, everyone on Instagram. The peace of God will be with you. Thank you so much. Sorry again for the Facebook shut down. It's down to my fault tonight, I admit. I pray that the hand of the Lord will be upon you. Thank you, everybody. Pastor Tayo, thank you. Bingpe, Madam Bingpe, thank you very much. Olayinka, Shegeleshe, Olayinka, everybody, Ade Bingpe, 134. The Lord bless you. Have a wonderful night. God bless you all. And for YouTube, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you. And for those that's going to watch this video, my name is Dolakwa Agorateni. I welcome you back to the Wise Builder if you're returning, and if you are new, this is why we'll talk about family and relationship here. And I pray that the God of peace will heal your home, will heal your land, will heal your relationship. Have a blessed night. God bless you all. Thank you.